What's the exact box office earnings in which centers for Chennai to Singapore? 9 lakhs 13,745 rupees. 1.6 million, $1.5 million film making about 9 lakhs 13,745 rupees. That is the share. Share means in theatre, in box office, in theatre how it works is that, say for an example, after you release the film, you make about $100,000. Half of that amount will go to the theatre. Half of that amount will go to the producer. This is the typical mindset. So Chennai to Singapore made about 18 lakhs. 18 lakhs is about Singapore $36,000, $37,000. That is what it made. Out of the $37,000, $18,000 is half of that, which will come to the producer, which is Comicbook. Now, out of the $18,000, 15% will go to your distributor. In our case, the distributor was SPI Cinemas, which is Satyam Cinemas. It's a very well-known distributor, pioneer in the industry. So that is the exact amount Chennai to Singapore made. And I will also show it to you exactly in which theatres, which screens and so on and so forth. Escape Cinemas, Satyam Cinemas, Woodlands Theatre, Devi Complex, Inox, Abhirami Mega Mall, Ega Cinemas, Sangam, PVR, Agastya, Udayam, S2 Cinemas and so on and so forth. So which are the areas it released? It released in Chennai City, it released in Chengalpattu, it released in North Arcot, South Arcot, Salem, Coimbatore, MR, I forgot, TT, Thoothukudi and then TK. I can't remember the names of it, but these are all the areas where the film released. And how many screens? Everything. That information also, I hope you can see the number of screens. Okay. So, next question. The financial position of myself. So I spent my 6 years, my money, my savings, whatever I've earned, my house and every single thing, everything was invested inside this film. 2 hours you see 6 years of my life, 6 to 7 years of my life, everything, right? Once the film was done, a lot of the money which I raised was from profits and from bank loans, for my company, business loans. When you run a company, the banks will not easily tell you, but they'll ask you for signatures. And when they give you the loan, they will say that you have to personally guarantee it. Actually, they will give you the paper, but in my case, they didn't tell me it was a personal guarantee. Personal guarantee means that if you are unable to pay, you'll be made bankrupt. In my case, I didn't know and I signed the papers, so I couldn't pay it back. So my financial position is that I was made bankrupt on March 15, 2018. That's my financial position. Okay, then after that, financial position of many studios. Most of the studios in Tamil cinema, they are not making money. If we were to go and speak to the industry players, they're not making money. If you go to Wikipedia, you can see 2018 the list of Tamil films, 2017 the list of Tamil films, 2016 the list of Tamil films. Every year on average about 150 to 200 films release. Try to look at the number of studios which keep on releasing again and again and again. Every year there will be plenty of new companies entering and the following year they'll be gone. Why? Because they'll not be able to make the money back. I do not wish to say names, but many legendary figures are in huge debts. Many big studios are in huge debts, and debt has become the norm. Nobody speaks about it, but debt has become the norms. One of the reasons why professional investors do not want to enter inside the cinema field. One of the reasons why banks do not want to finance films, because there is no transparency and there is no numbers, there is no integrity, put it that way. So how do I back this up? I cannot back this up because, like I said again, I don't have access to all the numbers exactly, but this is conversations with experts and professionals who are in the industry. There was upon a time whereby if you were to make a film for $1, you make back $10. That was the trend. Today, you know what's a hit? If you can make it for $1, and if you can make $1.50, that's a hit. Today the standards has changed for a film. And then there are many reasons. They are complex to why it's such. But I move on to the next question. Why the business model is unsustainable? Which tries to answer the first question. Why are so many studios broke? Why is it they cannot find the money? Why the business model is unsustainable? Imagine that you are in the tech industry and then there's Bill Gates and there's Steve Jobs and so on and so forth, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, but they're all broke and they are in debt. Imagine, if they are broke and they are in debt, if the great of the greatest can be in debt, then aren't you discouraged? If that is the situation which is going to be for them, then how about myself? How about myself? Correct? Why the debt has become the norm is, I've got a few assumptions to it, but I cannot verify. Like I said again, I do not have the transparency or every single fact. But one of the assumptions here is that when it comes to the cinema field, one of the main problems is that when you spend, let's say if you were to spend like 1 crore, which is about $200,000, if you spend that money, to make it back into $400,000 or $500,000, it's challenging. What are the variables? What are the variables which actually affect a film's financial performance in the box office? For an example, if a movie were to release, if it rains on that Friday, your ticket collection is going to get affected. If let's say if there's Jallikattu, which suddenly you could not predict, some kind of a new sentiment or plays through the country, your movie is not gonna make money. People are not gonna come to the theater to watch the film. If there's an earthquake, that's it. You can forget about box office earnings. If let's say for an example, when you are releasing your film, you need to find the right theaters and the right number of seats so that you can make more money. For an example, one ticket, if it's going to cost you $10, $10 it's going to cost you. So if let's say one theater has got 300 seats, so 300 times 10 is about $3,000, correct? So if the more seats you get, the more money you make. If you can't get enough seats, then you wouldn't make enough money. If you are a small fry, like myself, whatever I'm saying a lot is applicable to the small fries. The big boys, I don't know what's their game, but for the small fries, when you release a film, you want more seats, but you will not be able to get the seats because the big boys would be able to grab the seats. When you are releasing, you would have plenty of competition from the bigger boys, and generally they would be the one who's grabbing your screens. And you see, when it comes to the theaters, let's say imagine that you are a theater owner, right? So when you're a theater owner, you are sitting down here, you know that an Ajit film is coming or an Adarva film is coming and then nobody's film is coming. So which film do you want to give your seats to? Obviously you want to give to them. You would want to give to the nobody's film because you have no confidence that there will be revenue, and revenue is important to a theater owner because he needs to sustain his business. This is a business, right? So these mechanics, we couldn't really understand them at that point of time. We were just too naive, okay? And then you got your distributor's ability to secure enough seats is very, very, very crucial. We had one of the best distributors we can find. We are one of the best distributors we could get, SPI Cinemas, which is run by Saurabh Reddy. And Kishore is the one who's in charge of distribution. He's an expert, he's a professional, and his judgment is very accurate. He could not get us the right seats, and the reason for that is not because of him. The truth is that he was continuously, in our case, advising not to push for the release of the film. He kept on advising, do not desperately push for the release of the film. But we did not listen because we have got debts, we got people to pay. We did not listen. We kept on pushing him to release the film, which was a very, 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 very bad decision. You should never force your distributor to release the film. So he had no choice. Why? Because the more he told us not to push and the more we push, he starts to get insecure and starts to assume that we don't trust him. So the only way he can prove to us that I'm trustworthy is by releasing the film. And the truth also is that we did not trust him at that point in time because we were so desperate, right? So we did not trust him, so we pushed him. And he kept on advising not to release. That's an expert advice. That's an expert advice. And when experts talk, you got to listen. You got to listen. And we didn't listen. We are not the expert, but we didn't want to listen to him. We had investors pushing us. So we pushed him, and he ultimately released it. He knew that we are not getting enough slots. He knew that we are driving ourselves towards a wall. But he could not stop us because we were pressurizing him too much. So now, and big boys, there are a lot of big boys. If you go to IMDb, known actors in Tamil cinema, there are about 15 actors. 15 actors, they are known, and I believe that there should be more. There should be about 25 known actors, 30 known actors, correct? In Tamil cinema, 40, I don't know. Okay. Let me tell you a math. In 1 year, there are 48 Fridays, and films release only in Fridays, correct? So, Now I want you to imagine this scenario. There are 48 Fridays and you have to release on a Friday. One way or another, the big actors' films will be releasing on that Friday. You are not going to easily get theatres. There are only 48 Fridays. That's not going to change in a year. And not only do you have the big actors lining up to grab the seats from Tamil cinema, you also got Hollywood, you got Bollywood, you got Kollywood, you got Hollywood, you got films from many different regions coming in, which is all fighting for that same 48 Friday. The same 48 Friday. So imagine you are right now trying to release your film. Firstly, you are not gonna get one Good Friday whereby a lot of seats are available. Secondly, you are not going to get enough seats. The more you spend, in my case 1.6 million, which is about 7 to 8 crores of money, you need a lot of seats, which is very difficult to grab. And then thirdly is that you also have got rain. You have got other variables. You've got maybe Jallikattu. You've got typhoon or whatever which is going to happen. There are so many variables. Whatever variables I've given you is just maybe, I don't know, maybe like 10%. There is still 90% of variables. I'm not that experienced, but if you were to speak to any experienced distributor like Kishore himself, he will tell you plenty of variables why a film could run and could not run. And it's also unpredictable because there are many good films which didn't run. Iruvuru didn't run, Anbe Sivam didn't run, Shashank Redemption didn't run. So many films, good Tamil films didn't run. Because the business aspect of it is unpredictable. There's a lot of unpredictability. A lot of professional investors themselves know this. That's why when professional investors, venture firms and so on and so forth, when they want to invest, they invest in studios who have already gone through this entire circle, and they have stabilized and they know when to release, when not to release. Okay. Sometimes some people say that whatever I say is not true. Correct, fine. I was reading Creativity Inc. This book is written by Pixar's president, Pixar, $6 billion, $7 billion company. And he is the president of Disney Animation also. Pixar, Disney Animation, president. If you read the book, there is one particular page, I can't remember what's the page, but in that page he will say that there's a movie called Frog Prince, if I'm not wrong, Disney Animation, Frog Prince. Film was a very good film. He believed in the film. It was an amazing film. He's the gold standard of producers. His marketing team advised him, Pixar president, advised him that do not release the film with Avatar. It will be a bad idea. And they said that we have to change the name of the film for marketing reasons. I can't remember what is it exactly. He said, no, the content is strong, let's go. He said it, and that film flopped. And in that book, he has written that this was our own version of a stupid pill. Pixar president, strong content, but didn't make money. Walt Disney, Pixar, okay? If this can happen to Walt Disney and Pixar from Pixar president who served under Steve Jobs, if this can happen to him, who are we? We are nobody. We are nobodies. If this can happen to them, who are we? A lot of people got this idea that this fake belief that if your film doesn't make money means it's a bad film. You are wrong. Fight Club didn't make money. Shashank Redemption didn't make money. Citizen Kane didn't make money. These are legendary filmmakers and legendary films. They didn't make money in the box office. There is a problem in the box office business model. That's why it's not making money. Not because the content. So do not ever say that the film is not making money because it's money. No, I was led into that trap. That's not true. That is not true. I was thinking all the way that my film is good. My film is going to make money. That's not true. There is a lot of elements to it. Marketing, you got to get it right. Distribution, you got to get it right. And these two are two worlds by themselves. So do not say that a good film is enough to make money. You are wrong. That's not true. And if you are challenging me, that means you are challenging Pixar's president. So business model sustainable? Not sustainable. Okay? For Walt Disney, it's fine. For Pixar Studios, it's fine. Big boys, yeah, it's fine. They can fight. They can grab the seats. They can. But for small boys, no, not sustainable.